guys, it's Britt Dowd, and welcome to the Lawn Care Leaders Podcast, where every week we bring you episodes to positively and intentionally impact not only your business, but your leadership, communication, and personal life. Yes, we talk about mowers, fertilizer, and irrigation, but we put an emphasis on growing you as a leader and growing your business skills. We do this through interviews with other small business owners, growth segments where we dive deep on a micro business topic, and documented episodes from our own 7-figure business, Green Again Lawn. All right, lawn care leaders, turn your headphones up. It's time to get back at it.
No, you can do. Yeah, let me do the.
Yeah.
Hello, we're here with another episode with the Lawn Care Podcast.
I like that.
I'm Tiago Guilherme, here with my buddy, friend, co-worker, mentor, husband. Britt Dowd.
You just took a quarter of our minute on that.
Oh, we got 40 seconds.
40 seconds left, guys. This is another episode we call growth segments. Episode. I do say it like that, huh?
Uh-huh.
Episode. Oh man, it is. It's a fun time. Tiago and I are at his house again, recording a growth segment. We are here by the Christmas tree. We got Chasadilla behind the camera, and we are doing a fireside chat. So today we're going to talk about. We're going to address a couple different questions, but it's really hovering around how perfectionism can kill progress, how perfectionism early on can stifle growth, because really you need to be focusing on getting reps in and putting a mass amount of action into a small window, and then really dealing with some customer service repercussions, some customer service pushbacks, so that you can scale up. Yeah. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Tiago, why don't you tell them a little bit about like our viewpoint when we first started, and how many clients we had to get to create some margin to take that next leap. Because we went from just me and you to a bunch of guys.
Oh yeah. I think we were around 280 to 300 when I started. Yep. And then I come in. I mean, everything is new to me and Britt, and our first goal is to get to 500.
Yep.
And by that time, we didn't have any admin, and nobody was around us to be helping with the phone or anything like that. So we were just doing everything. Yeah. So our first goal is to get to 500, and we're just, how can we maximize out you and me on production? Yeah. And that way we can hire that next guy. And then I think at one point we were close to 1,000 clients, right?
I think we hit 950. I think we were at 955 or 953.
Something like that, yeah. But it was just Britt and I taking care of 950 clients and all the phones and everything else in the book. I don't think we didn't have Zach, because we started dating Zach last year. We had John,
who was helping us with taxes and some bookkeeping. But really, it was just you and I.
Yeah.
And just for reference, like right now, we only have a little over 2,000 clients, and we have a team of 9 right now. So for Tiago and I to take care of 955 was a ton.
Yeah. So we just want to give you the big picture before we dive in on the details. It is crazy. Like 2 guys with almost 1,000. Now we have 8.
Yeah.
In admin.
Well, they're all home. Should we just let them go?
Probably. Yeah. Take all the money and go to
Brazil.
We can go to Brazil. Yeah.
We might not be able to get back, but man.
We can go to Brazil. But yeah, I think we have 8. What's 8 with Katie? 6, 7. No, 8. So 9 with Katie.
9 with Katie. Yep.
Yeah. So 9.
There's 3 of us out of production. I mean, you were doing some tree shrub, but I did most of it. And then
I'm going to call the audible on that. I'm definitely calling.
It's not an audible. It's an audit. It's an audit. An audible is when you're calling one play and you switch to another one.
All right. We'll call audit on that, but because I did all the tree shrub. But anyway, so we went from 2 guys with 1,000 clients to 8, and Katie. Katie's worth, 10 technician, but so we can count her as just one. She does so much for us. It's so amazing. But anyway, so I went from 2 to 8 production and Katie, so 9, and then with the 2,000 clients. But I think what we're trying to talk about is, I think a lot of guys asking, I'm a perfectionist, and how can I pass that bridge, and hiring another guy because that guy's not going to do what I do, and how do I sleep when I know somebody's not doing what I'm doing? Yeah. And that's a good topic because when I started with Britt, I want to, everything to be perfect. I don't want any complaints. If I'm treating that person's yard, I want that to be perfect. I don't want to hear no complaints. I don't want to hear nothing. And how do we go from that to, having somebody else doing it? And it was a point there. I was like, holy smoke, the way we were scheduling was what area people were complaining more. Remember?
Yeah. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. I remember us sitting outside my barn, and you were like, "Where are we gonna go today?" And I remember us having the conversation. Yeah. Let me look through who's complaining.
Yeah.
So we would look through the emails, and we would schedule a basic task on Jobber from everybody who's like, "I've got weeds everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to cancel," and we would go do that route.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it was crazy. And then to me, it was like they want to be everything perfect. That kind of helped me to start learning how to, take you that moment to, we're creating some margin, for the future. That way we can hire more people and it can grow quicker, and how we're gonna pass what we know to those guys. Yeah. For us, what we did was, I think we had this conversation like every winter, for us to grow, so we needed this number of technicians, clients to a technician. So if you hire 4, if you overhire in the spring, we're trying to create that route for that person to stay.
Yeah.
So I think we did that, and and first year worked, and the second year worked, and until this year COVID hits.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk about that. I don't like to talk about or complain. But anyway, so I think that where got us margin to hire more people than we need.
Yeah.
And it goes back to numbers. I think Scott Wright he's pretty big on talk about it's just the numbers, which is a number game. Yeah. So we know our numbers. We put a 100 brochure, you get 1 to 2 clients. So we always break it down to the numbers to know how many people we need per technician. In doing that, that gives a margin to you or to the leader to make sure everybody's doing their job.
Yeah.
And gave you margin to do more training and do the ride along. I think the ride along is the biggest thing we do, because if you're busy and you're still doing production, you can't do ride along. So giving you margin and over hiring, you're not so caught up on production. And that way you have time to go out with them, make sure they're doing the right job. It's not gonna be perfect. It is not gonna be perfect. I still know my clients when I did my route, and I know when the guys goes now, it's like, hey, did you talk to this person? Make sure. They're not gonna give the same amount of passion and the time, but they might do something better than you didn't. That way, whatever you're slacking, they're gonna start teaching you how to get that portion. Better than you used to do.
That's really good. That's really good. Yeah, there's so much to unpack here. I think the first thing I would say is some of it is ego. I honestly think some of it is ego. Nobody can make tall grass short the way I do. Nobody can trim a yard the way I do. Nobody can spray a lawn the way I do. Nobody cares as much as I do. Yes, there is some truth to the fact that as an owner, you're going to care more. But the the flip side of that coin is there is a ton of people that are a lot better than you at a lot of things.
Yeah.
And just because you started this company doesn't mean that you're always going to be the best technician. Doesn't mean you're always going to know the most about grass. Doesn't mean you're the best person to fix a mower. It doesn't mean you're the best salesman.
Yeah.
And so I think the first thing that you have to get over is like, you're not always the best. One thing that I always think about with this is when we bought out that company.
Yeah.
This guy was the epitome of thinking nobody could do it better than him.
Yeah.
He thought we would lose a ton of clients. He didn't really hire anybody. He wanted to keep it in-house, so he never grew.
He was in business for 49 years.
49 years.
We bought 120 clients?
128.
128 clients. He was going to his 5th year, and then he decided to sell the clients. Yeah.
And we lost 8.
Yeah. 8.
Over the whole year.
Till now, I mean, we have
100 and something.
They're still alive. We have a bunch.
There were some oldies but goodies.
We have a bunch. It's a lot of nice people.
Yeah.
I mean, they're.
So there's two things that I want to talk about that you brought up. I want to highlight them. Number one, Tiago and I were managing half the clients that we have now with 9 people. Now, whoa. Fruit fly.
Fruit fly.
So
plant fly.
So now, we then had a little margin to hire a bunch of people. So what did we do? We could have went back again and said, well, let's focus on customer service only. Let's focus on being perfectionists. But no, what we did again was we've only got a small window to sell.
Yeah.
So we just boom, 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 peppered it out. And I've talked a little bit about this, but it's just, I think there's this thing called, or I call it the slingshot principle. But it's like, you've experienced it in your life. You have to sometimes feel like you're going backwards. Mm-hmm. And things are struggling. It's painful. You don't understand what's going on in your life. Or maybe you're stretching really hard so that you can launch forward in a better direction. And I picture both of those times as the slingshot principle. Because me and you knew we can just manage a small group of clients and take care of them. Mm-hmm. That's not a problem. But to get to where we want to go, we have to go backwards, and it's going to be painful. Yeah. And we were talking about this a little bit ago, but like, you're getting pushback from customers.
Yeah.
And all you business owners out there know there's a time where everyone cares about lawn care.
Yeah.
Everybody, like, dormancy is past. Everything greens up. We all know the feeling. You see that first guy that's mowing his lawn mid-March and it pops green and everything busts loose. And everybody's excited.
Yeah.
And so that is not the time to be focused on perfectionism. That's the time, it's like you have just been released. Go gather as much of it as you can and then run back. Yeah. And so you only have 2.5 months. That's why we're stressing that progress, action is way more important in the beginning than perfectionism.
Yeah.
Because if you're just perfect with every client, you're going to remain small. You're going to have a small group of happy clients, but you're not going to ever create any margin. So
I think a lot of people say the 10 weeks of hell.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like this. It's probably the best 10 weeks. So
yep.
I don't know. I think to me, I need to start changing my mindset. It's not 10 weeks of hell. It's
10 weeks of opportunity.
It's probably the best 10 weeks of the year. It's where you're growing. It's where you get clients. Where you're seeing who's the guy. Because I mean, whoever quits there, it wasn't meant to be there anyway.
Yeah.
But it's like one thing I always worry about is, this client Brett, he said the reason he switched to this big company is because every year he has a different technician.
Yeah.
And remember our goal is like, hey, I think every technician needs to be on that zone, and it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
If you have that kind of mindset, you're just not going to grow. You're not going to give a lot of people opportunity. Just go back to the other growth nugget we did. How many lives can you change?
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
Go back to that you being selfish and just changing your life. But I still remember like this specific client always telling me every time I go there, well, the reason I went to you guys, you're small.
Yep.
You always hear the. I was like, well, I was just thinking, like, it's not gonna be that way here pretty soon.
Yeah.
But that's when I switched my mind to, changing the guys' lives and helping the guys. It helps you not worrying too much about being perfectionist.
Yeah.
And then now I see like the guys, they do a lot better than me on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of details. We have guys out there just going above and beyond. Like, guys, we don't mow, so we're not required to pick up the sticks on the lawn because we just spray. So we have guys there spraying the yard, and you go back on his truck the next day, he has a lot of sticks, like 3 sticks on his back of the truck. Like, what are you doing? Well, I just been picking up the sticks, and they go and I never done that. Like, get the trash can. That's empty by the street, taking all the way up by the garage.
Yeah.
Like, I never done that, and now I go and ride along and see guys doing. I was like, holy smoke!
Yeah.
So you start seeing a lot of things that they start doing that you never done. I was like, well, maybe I can't. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. They do better than me in a lot of stuff.
It's so good. One thing that I always think about too. Is the teeter-totter between sales and customer service.
Yeah.
So we're there now, but when I first hired Tiago, like, our customer service was good, but we needed to expand.
Yeah.
So if you just picture a teeter-totter, like, customer service was all the way up, sales were down. Well, we eventually got it to where it was opposite, and sales are way up at 950 something, customer service was slipping.
Yeah.
So we now, over the last 2 years, have kind of recorrected it.
Yeah.
And this year, I mean, our business is overweight. We got to trim some fat, but we're in a good spot because customer service is high, and now we click that lever the other way, and we can start to maximize the leverage from our team. So that's what's funny. It's like you just need to know which season you're in.
Yeah.
And if you're in the customer service season, that's fine. Don't panic. Just make sure. If you have things that are wrong, fix it and make a system and train up your team. So if you are worried about perfectionism or if you have that problem, just train them the best way you know how. And then that way next year you can start to slowly readjust to where now you're getting sales. And if you know it and you name that season, whenever you're in it, you won't panic as much. It's like, hey, I know we're getting customer service calls, but we're just trying to get sales.
Yeah.
We're just trying to get top line.
I think that's perfect. And
we kind of did that this year. Like, hey, I know our guys aren't maxed out.
Yeah.
But we've got good guys. We've got a good team, and we're prepped and ready for 2021.
Yeah. It is a balance because I think, we decide we overhire, didn't get that many sales, and we decide to keep everybody.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of the margin, but next year when we come back, like, everybody knows what to do, and the next year our goal is to maximize everybody.
Yeah.
It's most we can. That way, 2022, 23 we can do more locations and do more stuff.
Yeah.
But just knowing, where you at and your goals. I think one big thing is we always talking about next year, 2, 5, 10 years down the road.
Yeah.
That would help. And what I was gonna say, I need to give a shout out to Brett. He always save our lives and everything.
Oh yeah.
Because I was just gonna talk about what he says about the 10 weeks, and then when go to summer is a service call nightmare, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the mindset he told us to have a service call is opportunity for you to talk to a client and know him.
Yeah.
I think that's good because I always think like, man, this service call, like, the dude is mad But then I switched my mindset to where, this is an opportunity for me to maybe upsell something and educate that client what's going on, if there's fungus or maybe it's not even our fault. And he doesn't know how to mow, or the guy that's mowing is mowing too short, or all that stuff. So it's an opportunity to do that. Service call is an opportunity for you to know the client and kind of educate him, get a better relationship.
And it's an opportunity for you to stand out from your competitors.
Yeah.
Why did you leave your other company? Oh, my other company wouldn't answer the phone. Or, oh, I had a problem and they mishandled it. Or, oh, they did this and they never came back and fixed it. It's a perfect opportunity. And we say that all the time. Like, Mrs. Jones, we screwed up.
Yeah.
But look, we're here. We're willing to try to fix it for you. If you stick with us, we can't guarantee everything, but we can guarantee you that we're going to try our best. That's why we're here.
Yeah. And I think with the standards, it's going to help a lot us, but I think everybody should do it. Yeah. And they should start.
You're saying instead of rules, like we've talked about that a little bit.
Standards instead of rule.
Yeah.
If you don't know a lot about that, just go. I think you have on the podcast back.
Yeah.
A couple podcasts back.
We
go back and listen to that.
We did a growth segment where it was a documented episode.
Okay.
I think it said like talk on standards.
Yeah. I think we should have done that before. So if you're there with you or one team member starts doing it, but I think that helps you and everybody else to just have ownership on what to do out there.
Yeah.
Instead of, well, this is the rule, this is the rule.
Yeah.
You know your standards, you know the company standards, so have more ownership to do to do the right. I think the other thing is on. Did we explain a lot what's ride along? Because when people started telling me ride along, I never knew what it was. So you think everybody knows what ride along is?
I mean, you can explain it. We've talked about it quite a bit.
Okay.
You can explain it.
I mean, I'm always the dumbest one. I like to.
Yeah, explain what the ride along is.
So the ride along for us is, so you have a technician out there, then you choose that day. Say Wednesday, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna hop in that guy's truck and I'm gonna be with him all day long.
Yeah.
You're not there judging him all day. You're just out there to see how he's doing, talk to him, and so that's opportunity that we found out where. How are you gonna see if he's doing what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing before? So I think just have the standards, ride along.
And we also, real quick, we do reference ride-alongs for our interviews.
Oh yeah.
Like we bring an interviewee along for a ride-along so they actually see what the job is.
Yeah. So I think those, like if you're very perfectionist, which is not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, got you where you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in a position to hire 1 or 2 technicians, just set it as standards instead of rule.
Yep.
And having the ride along, it's perfect.
Yep.
And just know that, if something messed up, just go there with that guy, like we do sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Take that technician, go there, talk to the client, and just have the technician listen to you 1, 2, or 3 times, and until he learn everything. So I think if those couple points, I think you get them.
Yeah. Yeah. There's 2 different like perfectionisms that we're talking about right now. Perfectionism like on the job, and then worried about perfectionism as you're trying to grow.
Okay.
Like isn't that what you would think?
Yeah.
Like we're talking about it like when we're trying to grow, and then also as it relates to a teammate.
If you're trying to grow, if you don't give up on perfection, you're not going to grow. I mean,
I think Greg Groeschel, the guy that started Life Church, says you can have growth or you can have perfectionism, but you can't have both.
No, it's just not going to happen. I mean, you see all the big companies out there and big guys and big guys. I mean, on like successful people, and they all struggle. They all make mistakes.
Yeah.
So I think the first thing, like we were talking about the other day, look at the mirror and just say, hey, I'm not a perfectionist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll be a good start.
Yeah. I think too, also, not for everybody, but there's a select group of people out there that they do want to do a good job. Their heart's in the right spot. They want to take care of their clients. You could call it perfectionism, whatever. But then they want to grow, but at the end of the year, they're spending all their money on themselves. Or they're spending all their money on what they deem as needed equipment. And I think it needs to be said, for you to grow, you need to cut out perfectionism, but you also need to, instead of worried about nitpicking at what your employees are doing, look in the mirror and say, am I doing everything with the checking account and the savings account and investing and projections to give us better opportunity next year? Because
that's very important.
Perfectionism can also bleed over into wanting the best of everything right now. I want the best truck right now. I want 3 more mowers, even though we need 2. That way, when one breaks down, I have the best freaking mower as my backup. Yeah. There's just stuff that is stupid in your first 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, next year will be a decade, I think, for green again. By next fall, which is crazy to think about. We just now got new trucks.
Yeah. This year started
So it's just like, you can't have, everything can't be perfect. Yeah. And you have to choose. Do you want super nice stuff and to grow really slow and to be alone? Or do you want to get people around you? Because if you do, you're going to have to go backwards for a period to launch forwards. You're going to have to decide, I'm not going to have the most perfect piece of equipment or the most perfect trailer so that we can grow again next year. So I just get a little tired of that, like talking to guys in the first 3 years that think they should have it all right now.
Yeah. And I think it's that you're not going to get right on your first hire or second or third. I think just realize that because they hurt you and I a lot.
Yeah.
Remember when we got the first one and you put all your time on the training and it doesn't work, and then you get to the other one and put all your time, it doesn't work, and then you got that guy who's like, man, this is gonna be the deal, and you get very relation with them, and then something happened and that dude goes, we have to fire him, and I was like, man, maybe we shouldn't have a lot of relationship with that person. Maybe we should do this different. So just know that I think when you we've been messing up every year.
Yeah.
But then it goes back to looking at the mirror and, I messed up, and what can I do to change? What can I do to fix it? What can I do to improve? I think that's big.
Yeah.
When we do every year, where we sit down, like, what can we change? What can we get better? And that by yourself is hard.
Yeah.
That's why it's good to have people.
Yeah.
So now it was you and me. Now we got Sean getting closer. So Sean has a lot of good ideas, and like, hey, why? And then we always joke like, that's why we hire you.
That's why we hired you, bud.
So that gives you a lot more, room and to grow. Like when you messed up, and then now we got that guy that's putting his life into it, and giving more good ideas where you just grow.
Yeah. You just looked down at the time and you had a brain fart. You're like, oh shoot, almost 27 minutes. I love watching you look at the time.
Too long.
Guys, this has been another growth episode. Talking about perfectionism. If you want to grow, you have to lose perfectionism, at least for a time period. And then we really hovered a long time around customer service and sales. Name where you're at. Are we high customer service and need to increase sales, or are we high sales, need to increase customer service for a season? So thanks for being with us. Tiago, thanks for that solid intro.
I appreciate it.
All right. Merry Christmas, guys.
I should have said welcome, but I say appreciate.
Yeah.
My bad. Love you.
Appreciate.
He said thank you for that good intro. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Hey guys, that is a wrap on yet another episode of the Lawn Care Leaders Podcast. Thanks again for letting us hang out with you, and we appreciate you hanging out with us. Please subscribe, leave us a rating and review, and if you found this at all helpful, please help us by sharing the podcast. And we wish that you would continue this conversation. If you want to chat it up about some topic that happened, or maybe you have further questions, you can find us over on Instagram, Facebook. We're going to be posting YouTube and LinkedIn content as well. So you can find us on almost any platform. And if you'd like to further grow your business or find out more information about Intentional Growth Advisors or one of our other show sponsors, feel free to click the link in the show notes and you can see those there. Again, guys, thank you so much for joining us, and we will be back with you again shortly.